Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Angie's Jungle House. Morning everybody, and welcome back to Angie's Jungle House. Today I have a quick little house tour for you. I'm not going to say quick, that would be a complete lie. Grab your popcorn, set yourself up a chair, maybe a pillow because this could be a long one. So we're going to start out in my kitchen. I will first take you to the propagation station. This is a west-facing window, so south-facing, sorry. I've got my directions all discombobulated today. Here's my Dracaena bicolor marginata, which I'm going to move out of the way. It's a plant, does well. Then I have some ivy cuttings in the first container. The second container is Marble Queen pothos, Hoya rope, some more ivy cuttings, starling. I cut a bunch of those off the other day off my starling just to push some more growth to the top. Here's some Maloma. Here's some large leaf Tradescantia, neon pothos, which a lot of these are ready to go in the ground, guys. So we have, don't let the name Maloma fool you. This is like my heart ivy and what have ya. My heartleaf philodendron, which is ready to go in the ground, which I'm really going to miss this in my kitchen. I might actually keep it here. I don't know. And then my Marble Queen pothos sporting, which I learned that it is reverting either to one or the other. One of these cuttings looks like it's reverting to all green. And some of it looks like it's reverting to white. So I'd like to keep the green portions and hopefully have just a really large leaf pothos. Little disclaimer, I don't have 60 black cats. I just have one black cat in heat. So she's been, oh, sorry, I almost forgot. My brand new Wandering Jew cuttings that the black one made for me. Right, Binks? Yeah. So I got some brand new Wandering Jew or small leaf Tradescantia cuttings. Yeah, so that was a whole chunk that now got ripped off here. So that's cool. My money tree got a really, really hard prune. I wanted to unbraid it, and I broke a lot of leaves, so I pruned off everything but one leaf on each stem. Here's my lemon thyme, which smells amazing. Here's my jade plant, which is doing all right. My Hoya rope, which is growing a little bit, nothing too crazy. So yeah. Then does anybody remember this, guys? This was my sad little Easter cactus that I picked up, and I didn't know if I could save it. It was in really, really bad shape. Well, it's in really, really good shape now. The third of the 3 plants in here died, but I do have some pads that had fallen off. There's some over here and some over on the other side that are growing roots, so we're going to let them be them. And here is my larger Easter cactus that is now done flowering. It was so pretty a while back, and now she's a little on the ugly side. I'm trying to catch some of these flowers before they wind up all over my floor, but... Then I have my English lavender, which the front of the pot had soil washout. Didn't realize it. There's soil in there now, but I did lose a portion of the plant. I gotta clean that up one of these days. And on the back, I have my purple basil. Then coming forward, I have my sweet basil and my curly parsley, which are doing great. Then I have my little Mamie Croton, which is starting to get some color, but I did burn a little bit of the leaves. My rubber tree, which is giving me new leaves all over the place. This is a littler of the 2 that I own. And I have my Croton, which actually is giving me colored variegation toward the outside of the leaves, so it is getting quite a sufficient amount of sun, which is super exciting. It's got this little baby over here. And then my Pearls and Jade pothos, which gave me a couple new leaves. I still need to cut the damaged leaves out but they're just, I don't have the heart to do so quite yet because there's not much to that plant and it doesn't do a whole lot either. I will cover these first. Here's my small leaf Tradescantia, which is taking a real beating thanks to this little girl here. My snake plant cuttings, which have done 100% nothing. They haven't rotted, but they haven't done anything either. My little Norfolk pine that I just picked up the other day, and I have a variegated Bonnie spider plant pup over here. And I have my vinca vine that trails all the way down to the baker's cupboard. Next to my lowrider alocasia, which is giving me a new leaf. Once this leaf comes out, these two leaves at the bottom here are gonna go bye-bye. See what I mean? It's taking a real beating. Can you stop, please? Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the kitchen. Over by my sink in my southern facing window, I have my Dracaena marginata bicolor. I have some Chicago and Yellow Ripple cuttings, Marble Queen pothos, my Rubra Wax Hoya, Starling and Aloma ivy, Tradescantia, the large leaf, Neon pothos, some My Heart ivy, some Heartleaf philodendron cuttings, or broken off pieces I should say, and then my Marble Queen pothos cuttings, which are reverting. Some of these appear to be reverting all white, as some are reverting toward the Marble Queen variegation. So I'd like to have an entire pothos made out of large leaves, which would be cool. Just large green. And then my brand new my little leaf Tradescantia cuttings. My cat knocked those off today. Also, pardon the shadows. I decided to film this in the dark so I don't have backlighting. That is my compost bin. Moving on to this corner, I have my Chinese money tree, which I decided to cut back and unbraid it. I didn't like the braided look, so I thought it kind of looked a little meh. I like the natural look, so. And up in this west-facing window, which meets a north-facing window, but we have my jade plant, my Hoya rope, which doesn't do a whole lot, and my rosemary lemon thyme. Here's my Easter cactus that is just done flowering. Here's my sick little almost dead Easter cactus, which if you don't recognize this guy, I can't blame you. It was pretty sad looking. Now looks super stupendous. There are some broken off leaves from the dead plant. I did lose one of the three, but these cuttings are growing, or these broken off leaves are growing roots, so I'm just letting them be them. Here's my English lavender. I had some soil washout, which I didn't realize right away. I need to clean this up. I've got her back filled with soil, but it didn't stop the front portion of the plant from dying. I didn't notice quick enough. Then on to, I have some sweet basil, some purple basil, and some curly parsley here as well. I have my Mamie Croton, which is doing really alright. It's doing pretty good. Still cute. Then I have my smaller of the two rubber trees, which has given me a new leaf and some new leaves on the way. And my larger Croton plant, which is starting to turn red and orange along the outside of this leaf, so it is getting a good amount of sun to give it the colored variegation. And there's a littler portion of the plant. My pearls and jade pothos, which is giving me some new leaves. It's starting to do a little bit better. I've had this plant for some time, and it's just done absolutely just nothing. So I'm glad to see something coming out of it. Ooh. Next up is my lowrider alocasia, which I just turned away from the sun yesterday. So it should work its way back around. Look at that leaf. Oh Lord, this is a beautiful plant. Here are the nursery damaged leaves that I'm going to cut off shortly. Yes, it is very dirty. I did just turn the fan on not too long ago, like this morning, so I knocked a bunch of dust off, so I'm going to have to dust this guy today. And it's giving me one large new leaf, so once that one unfurls or gets close to, I'm going to be cutting these leaves off. Down lower, we have my small leaf Tradescantia, which the cat was rubbing on this morning because she's feeling super friendly. She knocked some leaves off, so those are what's propagating over in the window. I have my Sansevieria cuttings, which are doing 100% nothing. They're not rotting, but they're not growing. My Norfolk pine, which I'm trying to find a place for this where I won't forget it because it does like lower light, which is why I've got it set back off the window quite a ways so it doesn't burn. Then I have some variegated Bonnie pups in that container. Then up top, I have my Vinca vine in a pot that hangs all the way down to the baker's cupboard table. So that there is my kitchen plant tour. All right, everybody, welcome to my kitchen. We'll start off in this corner. I did decide to make this video when it's a little darker out, so I don't have all the backlighting, so you can actually see the plants. Right here we have a west meets north facing window. On this chair I have my money tree that I unbraided and gave a semi-hard prune back. They grow like wildfire, so I wasn't really concerned about it being related to the Scheffler and all. In this west-facing window, top left, I have my jade plant, my Hoya rope, and then on the bottom, there is some lemon thyme. Over here is where like my little herb garden is mixed with some other stuff that like sun. My Easter cactus, which is just coming out of bloom. And this little guy, if you don't recognize him, is my sick little Easter cactus that I decided I was going to try to save, pay full price for, and save. I lost one of the 3 plants. Some of the leaves did fall off that plant that didn't look bad yet. So I left them in the pot. They are growing roots. Then I have my English lavender, which I did have some soil washout that I didn't notice right away, so the front of the plant died back. So I'm going to clean that up when I repot some of the stuff from that I'll show you in a minute here. I have my purple basil, sweet basil, and curly parsley on this plate here. My Mamie Croton, which is doing all right. It's not really curly. I don't know when that happens. This is the first new growth I've seen out of it. So stay tuned. Then I have my smaller of my 2 rubber trees, which has given me 1 new leaf, and then I got a couple more on the way. Here's my large Croton, and I know it's getting enough light. It's turning red and green through here, or red and orange through here. So it is getting enough, it's sufficient lighting now, but it probably will not be once winter rolls around. but I might actually just put in grow lights in the kitchen in my ceiling fan, just for the sole fact that I do not actually use lights hardly at all in this house. So I'll put some grow lights up there, and then I'll just leave the light on all night, or for so many hours, whatever. And then I have my Pearls and Jade Pothos, which has done nothing for me so far, but is finally giving me some new leaves so I could trim back some of the more damaged. And then back here we have my Small Leaf Tradescantia, which is doing well. Some Sansevieria cuttings that are doing nothing. They're not rotting, but they're not growing either. A Norfolk Pine and a Variegated Bonnie cutting as well. And then here we have my Lowrider Alocasia. I did just turn this guy away from the light, so he'll turn back around. I want to keep him relatively straight and not one-sided. Absolutely gorgeous plant. I actually love the backs of the leaves on this one. Look at that, just stunning. With the reddish burgundy leaf and the chartreuse variegation, like veining. But it is giving me a new leaf, so once this one unfurls, I will cut off the nursery damaged ones. And then way up top, we have my Vinca vine, which trails all the way down to the table. And that is my north and west facing window. We'll turn here. Wow, sorry. Over to my propagation station, which here's my bicolor marginata, some yellow ripple ivy, Marble Queen pothos, Hoya rope, starling ivy, Aloma ivy, large leaf tradescantia, neon pothos, Chicago ivy mixed in with, I believe, more Aloma. I also have some heartleaf philodendron and some Marble Queen pothos that is reverting. Hopefully they're all reverting to all green, because I would really love an all green pothos. That would be great. And then some new small leaf tradescantia cuttings. And there is my compost bin, which I had just emptied. There's only a little bit of stuff in it, so I can't show you all the goodies. Got a few leaves that I plucked off, but coffee is the main ingredient here right now. Then, folks, on to the dining room. In this, oh, it's a north-facing window. I have my spider plant that I got from my mother, which is doing phenomenal. And then my philodendron Brazil, which has put on all this new growth since January. It had 4 leaves left when I moved here, so that's exciting. And then I have my green prayer plant, which is doing really well. I over-fertilized it, and I think that's why I've got some of these funky leaves in here. I did give it 50% fertilizer and like 50% diluted fertilizer, which is probably too much for that plant. I know it's too much, but when I watered it, because it's not with the rest of my Maranta and Calathea, it got in the mix of these regular house plants somehow, so it didn't really care for that at all. And then here I have a Sansevieria snake plant. It's a bird's nest snake. It's got a lot of babies in it, so that's fun. All right, folks. This is a view into my living room. It's going to be a long section. So immediately to the left, I have my heart ivy. Above that is my rainbow moss and my asterisk ivy hanging in the 3-tier planter there. On my coffee table, I have a Chicago ivy. And there's a princess sitting on a couch. Dogs are outside for the duration of this video. Yay. We're going to start low, work our way up. So here is my Monstera. It's not really doing much, but it's not doing poorly either. It's probably still just acclimating a little bit. my Hoya rubra wax, which is doing phenomenal, like my tricolor. I'm going to be getting new leaves shortly. I've got 2 inches of new growth. Down here, I have my curly ivy on 4 heads of a Dracaena, which is doing just wonderfully, tons of new growth. Here is my white bird of paradise. It was doing pretty sad and it hadn't shown any signs of doing anything for a long time. And it is giving me a new leaf, so I will at least cut this leaf right here off because it is in really bad shape. But it's doing really, really good if it's growing. Then right here I have my green fantasy fern, which is going to have to find a new home in the house because it's really outgrowing this window. And how about my gold capella schefflera? It has given me a new leaf right here. So that's super cool. My crocodile aloe, which is back here, has yet to be hauled, but I do have a pest control video coming your way. I'm just waiting on my gardenia tree. But I did a green lacewing release, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be super exciting. I'll give more on the green lacewings than just kind of explaining, I hope. Hopefully I got some good footage and I don't lose any. Here's my Berry Illusion arrowhead. And my starling ivy, which I butched back not too long ago, a few days ago, just to push some more growth to the top, just to fill it out a little bit more before I let it really do its thing. Then I have my oxalis, which was in a west-facing window, or south-facing window, pardon, which was just too much for it. I really burnt some of the leaves. And this, by the way, is an east-facing window. Here is my sweet potato vine, which is growing great guns. Moving on up to my Aloma ivy, or my Algerian ivy, I'm sorry. A neon pothos baby. And my philodendron, or my alocasia Hilo Bay, which is doing really, really good. To the left here on the bench, you see my silver pothos, satin pothos, whatever you want to call it, growing really, really well. And then I also have my pink princess philodendron, which I did not put in with the quarantine plants. And once my pest-related video is out, you will see why I do not allow this plant to touch anything. I am keeping very close watch on it. I have not used pesticides, but I did place green lacewings in the pot. So hopefully we're going to be okay on this girl. Up a little bit more, you're going to see the California fan ivy to the left. And some subscribers and viewers have told me that this is a Japanese Aurelia, or Japanese Aurelia. So that's cool to know. This is the one truly, truly unidentified plant that I had no hope for. So thank you guys. Notice I got a theme of little tiny animals hiding everywhere, like pigs and cows and more pigs and some sheep and a horse and a boot. Anyhow, moving on. I have a golden pothos hanging from my pulley system, as well as Bonnie, my variegated Bonnie spider plant, which is doing phenomenally. Up on my plant rod, I moved my Ruby Cascade up here. It's a peperomia. It was losing most of its cascade, so I did move it up in hopes that it regains some of that. It gets less damage, yada, yada, yada. Then I have my German wax ivy. There is some variegated and some unvariegated in this pot, and I am training it to climb. Then I have my beautiful creeping fig, which is just doing absolutely wonderful. It has grown so much since I got it. And my neon pothos, which is kind of leggy, kind of ugly, but it'll get a little cuter as time goes on. Then here is my giant Eva ivy, which I'm going to climb up on my couch and see if I can give you a good look at the variegation on this mint colibri ivy. It is just so ridiculously beautiful. I love it so much. It's got to be my favorite ivy to date. This is the most sentimental. It is from my mother, and I did just cut 6 to 12 inches off of this plant because it was growing so far into the whitebird. So it's a little bit shorter now. So that's probably a good thing. Take you on over by my television, which we have my newer of my Marble Queen pothos. It has a lot more green in it. So this is probably a pretty healthy, quite a bit, significantly healthier plant. My big old large leaf Tradescantia that I just picked up, which is doing great. My Kimberly fern, which keeps getting stepped on by the cats. They keep putting their feet in it and rubbing on the fronds. So there's nothing I can do for a portion of the plant. It's just probably going to die out there, and the rest of the plant might do all right. We're gonna see. Here is my all-season Santa. He always hides in my living room somewhere, mixed in with the plants. See how many people notice him in July. Then next to him, I have my Dracaena Warnecki, which the cats have really stopped bothering and just let grow. So that is really awesome. And back here, we have some more plants. To the left, you're going to see Clyde, my Marble Queen pothos, which is not very healthy. Probably needs a little bit more light. I'll probably be moving him today. My Philodendron Brazil, the large plant, which I bought him a new graniteware pot. So I kind of folded his leaves up so you can kind of see it. And my Gold Dust Dracaena. Also, I'm trying to pick out some paint colors for this room. Got some up there if any strike your fancy. Kind of thinking maybe a mustard wall and a dark grayish sage trim. Guys, give me, if you have any input on what I should paint this room, please give me some sort of ideas. I do like the primitive style, but comment down below and see if you can help me out here. Welcome to my office. Over here on my card catalog, I just have a kangaroo paw fern. This fern does not seem to be very picky at all. I think it'll just take whatever you give it as long as it's got enough water. It doesn't even seem to be humidity loving. It just grows. So I'm thinking that's a fairly easy care fern. Then I have my big rubber tree, which has given me there are some new leaves on here. Ah, here it is. Here's a new leaf. And it's giving me even more. So this one just unfurled. This one's coming out. So that's exciting. Then I have my post-propagation station plants. Right here are some green prayer plants and some Tradescantia. I have my rosemary right here. And then I also have my yellow ripple ivy, which took a tumble off the desk and got quite damaged and full of dirt. See, we got some dead leaves now. I've never had much good luck with the yellow ripple ivy, and it just seems to keep piling up against me. Welcome to the bedroom, guys. Alrighty, now I don't know if I've ever informed anybody of this. I don't know if I have any updates on my Schefflera. I did hard prune it. I felt like it was getting a little out of control, so I hard pruned it. I cut probably 8 inches off the top of the plant, and I cut all of the leaves off. She is starting to grow back, so that's pretty gosh darn exciting. And I have Sideshow, my Boston Ivy. This is the ugly side that hasn't gotten light in about a month. So I've got him turned out to start collecting some light again. It is getting a little warm for him. I keep the fan on in here, hopefully to keep him a little bit cooler. It's just too warm for him to be growing right now, but sustaining nonetheless. Then I have my mass cane collection, which I'm going to plant. I'm thinking about planting these all into one pot. The other little mass cane was not getting enough light over on the other side of my room, so I had to move him a little closer to the window. First, the bottom rung of the ladder is my Madonna yellow ivy. Then I have my butterfly arrowhead that I just picked up. Now I have my design ivy, which I loved this ivy when I got it, and I was looking for it. But I kind of realized that it kind of looks like bird poop on the leaves, so I love it just a little bit less now. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that feels that way. Moving up the ladder, my teardrop ivy, which is just going mad. Up to my peperomia rainbow, which was banged up. Kind of like a discount deal, but doing well nonetheless. I'm starting to see some new growth. And also another Dracaena bicolor marginata. Here's my dumb cane, which used to sit behind me. It got pretty gosh darn damaged from me crawling in and out of that corner, so I decided to move it. I'm getting more new growth, and all the new growth that's opened up looks beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So I'm really not worried about the care I'm taking. It looks like I'm doing pretty well. It's my little cow with rain boots on. Then I have my green Schefflera, my variegated Schefflera, which was just super tiny little thing when I got it. I'd say probably no bigger than this portion here, which is absolutely insane how big it's gotten in a few months. Not really. I know how Schefflera grows. Here's my ponytail palm that the cats were destroying. It's looking a lot better now that I got it out of their reach. My peace lily, which smells so good, but the flowers weird me out so much. It's also wrecking the place. There's pollen everywhere. And my other dumb cane, or Dieffenbachia, however you prefer, is doing phenomenal. This was actually a pretty good looking plant when I picked it up, and it's still looking pretty good. The final plant in here is my pink illusion arrowhead, which is absolutely stunning as always. Alright guys, I don't want to show you too much of my haul because I'm working on it. So once I get the haul all set and ready, I will then do a haul tour, but for right now, here's my Million Hearts ivy, or my Million Hearts plant, and also my philodendron Little Hope, which there's going to be a video hauling this, but for the time being, it's got to come out, but my video is not ready to go up yet. It was supposed to be up a couple weeks ago, but triggered something way larger. So everybody, philodendron Little Hope. Then right away in my sink area in the bathroom, which this is right on the list with the haul project that needs to get done, is this bathroom, because this is horrible. I hate this bathroom so much. But it's got enough lights for plants, so I use it. There is my Hartley philodendron that I am training into the shower area. And my rattlesnake calathea, which is doing phenomenal, giving me new growth now. My rabbit's foot fern, the rhizomes are starting to come out of the pot, which is pretty exciting. It's growing really, really large and quick. And then here we have my Jubilee ivy, which kind of looks like camo. It's doing really, really well in this window. This is a north facing. Yeah, west facing, sorry. And we have my Chinese evergreen, which is, you know, just doing like they do. Over to the south facing window, which is really shaded by the neighbor's house, which is great. I have my red prayer plant on the toilet. Also, surprise ivy and asterisk ivy in one pot. They're doing well. I got some garbage here. I don't know why there's dryer sheets and garbage up here. My laundry room's downstairs. But here's my Silver Bells ivy, which is doing very fantastic. And my pinstripe calathea, which is starting to give me some new growth. So I'm going to be able to cut these burnt leaves off shortly. The golden pothos cuttings my sister gave me. Actually, she gave me the whole plant, which was all vine and just a few leaves. So I took the leaves off it and, yep, propagated those. And then I have my Sansevieria, which is doing very well. I don't think you can see any new growth from here, so I'm not going to bother showing. They're all on the inside of that plant. Then I have my teddy bear vine here on the ground, which has grown to the ground and is starting to walk along it. That's absolutely crazy. So that might have to get hung up relatively shortly. And the final plant is my big old spider plant. Doing really well. I think it was in flower the last video, and now the babies are out, and hopefully they'll start getting a little bit bigger. And growing some aerial roots, so it looks a lot sweeter up here. I'm not taking any babies off this plant. This is just going to grow wild until it's in the way or something. So that is my spider plant, and I think that's everything. I'm not going to show you the quarantine room. I'm not going to spoil all the plants for the video. I'm sorry. But, as always, thank you for watching and happy planting.